Hey guys, Guns and Games here, back with another video. Long time no see, it's been a while. I apologize for the drought or absence in videos for the last, it's been like 4 months. I apologize, I have been kind of busy and just honestly lazy for the most part. But that's going to change hopefully for the near future. I'm going to hopefully crank out some more videos like this one in the near future, so be on the lookout. But without further ado, getting into today's handgun review. Today we are looking at a Zastava CZ99 that I bought a while ago. I bought it several months ago from J&G Sales for $250. And time to do a video on it. What is the CZ99 exactly? It is a standard Yugoslavian, Serbian handgun. That was introduced in the early 90s. I think it was introduced or developed, I think in 1989 or 1990. I'm not sure. The gun itself is basically a SIG clone, 220, 226 clone. It's not 100% clone, but it's pretty close. And it also actually carries over a couple features from the Walther P88, like the ambidextrous decocker slide release. But other than that, that's basically what the gun is. It is chambered in 9mm, holds 15 rounds, and is still in service today. And it replaced the Tokarev series of pistols that Yugoslavia was using. So the M57, the M70, the M88, and whatnot. This gun ended up actually replacing all of them. I'm going to come in here, just give you kind of a good close-up, some of the imperfections, some good wear in some areas. The screws are a little janky looking, some just wear on the grips. Finish loss on the decocker slide release. Overall, not too bad though. It's just some grime all over it. Overall, I think it overall is in pretty good shape, and the barrel's excellent. The internal parts are still excellent, in excellent shape. So, getting back into some of the specs, again, it is a 9mm 15-round magazine. I believe there are also 10-round magazines made for it as well, for certain states in the country that have ammo size restrictions. So there are actually a couple other versions of this pistol. This is actually the first gun in kind of a line of pistols that are similar to it. This one was the first one. There was actually a couple of follow-ups. We have the CZ999, so 3 nines. That was introduced a little later. It's pretty much the same gun, but some of the new features include 40 Smith & Wesson caliber was offered. I think there was actually, I think they were double action only, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but I think that's really it. And there was a loaded chamber indicator. That was basically it. Not really a whole lot different. They also, I believe, made a compact version of that one, or do still. Not a whole lot of differences. The new one, though, that's come out, I think, somewhat recently is the Easy. The Easy, I think it's called the Easy 9 or Easy 40, just simply called the Easy for short. That carries over some of the features from the 999. It's got a Picatinny rail under the barrel here. It's got the same loaded chamber indicator on top. That's pretty much it. That's basically it. Those are not double action only. Those are double action, single action, like this one. And they come in compact as well. The only real difference is, again, it's got the Picatinny rail. So it's a little bit more modernized. That's really about it. So there's not a whole lot of difference between the three, not really. I don't really like the way the EZ99 looks. I don't really like the way the CZ999 looks either. The original 99s here are just, they just look better. They don't look as cheap. If you just go look up photos of the like the 999 or the Easy 99 or 40, they just look a lot cheaper and more plasticky or something to me. The aesthetic just does not look as good as the standard 99 here. It's a pretty good looking handgun. Looks more robust. I know there's also a clone of this gun made by the Israelis. It's called the Golan. And it is a copy of the 99, this one. So Israel makes a copy. They have a licensed copy that they make in Israel. It does not have the loaded chamber indicator. And I think it's a little smaller. It's not quite as small as the compact models, but it's a little shorter than the standard. Other than that, I think it's really pretty much identical. You know, the markings are going to be different as well. But I don't think we've ever got any of the Israeli models here in the United States, from what I can tell. I've never seen one or heard of one being here. You know, haven't really seen or heard one, so I don't know. This gun is pretty heavy. It is all steel. I think that's the issue with some of the later models, the Easy or the 999. They might actually have polymer frames, so they just kind of look cheaper, like I said. This boy is pretty heavy. You know, you've got a standard, just standard push-button mag release. You've got your hammer here, so you can do double action, single action, 3-post sight, ambidextrous slide release decocker, just like a lot of common guns that have this design for the takedown. You just bring the slide back, depress it down, and then the slide, pull the trigger, slide pops off with your barrel and your recoil spring. Pretty simple. A lot of guns use this design now. So there are some interesting problems I have with this gun. Getting into some of the minor, getting the minor one out of the way first. I am actually missing one of my dots. The back left dot is actually missing. It is either fallen out during service or transport or something, but it's gone. That's one thing I felt I should note. But the other thing is that the decocker does not work. So let me cock the gun here. The decocker does not work. It actually does work, but you have to put a lot of force on it to actually get it to decock. So it's interesting, to say the least. This gun, I am operating without a decocker, so I just have to, thumb and pull the trigger. Kind of annoying, but it's not a disaster. It doesn't impede shooting the gun or anything, but it's kind of annoying. The gun does not have a safety, so kind of annoying. The other interesting issue I have noticed is my slide release is extremely hard to operate. Let me actually cock the gun back for you guys real quick. Get the gun cocked, locked back. The gun will also, it's extremely difficult. It looked kind of easy there, but I actually had to I was using both sides. I was taking my thumb, and then on the other side I was using my index finger as well. So it's pretty easy if you use a thumb and an index finger on the other side, but using just my thumb, I can't even do it currently. So I actually can't even use the slide release either, but if I get it from both sides, then I can do it. I can't decock it. If I do that from both sides trying to decock it, I actually can't do it either. It's really bizarre, but then I found out a way to actually get around it. As you can see, there's a bar. If I can see that little bar there in the notch, that is the slide release bar, and when I push this down, it's supposed to drop the slide. I'll show you it in action here. See, it dropped, and that dropped the slide. It's just not working for some reason. So, but there was a way I was able to get around it. How I get around it, I found out a way to get around it is if I pull the slide back more, then it'll obviously depress. So that's another interesting way to do it. I'll see if I can actually sort of replicate it here on camera for you. It might be a little hard. Let me see if I can stand you guys up. So, let's see if we can get it sort of focused here. It's going to be difficult. There we go. So if I pull the slide back, this is going to be difficult with, see? There we go. So I can do it if I pull the slide back, then I can actually drop the slide. I don't know. It's something with this bar in there, or something is messed up, obviously. I've taken the gun apart and tried to mess with it and haven't been able to really figure it out or fix it in any way. So that's kind of annoying. It's not a defective gun or anything, but the gun is not working 100% properly. I mean, it still shoots fine and everything. I have shot it. It functioned fine and everything, and actually shot fairly well. But that's kind of annoying. So, and again, I'm missing a post dot as well. But, you know, I can't really complain for $250. I can't really complain, I guess. But, I mean, the gun functions technically when it comes to shooting and dropping the magazine and everything. It works fine. But still, that's kind of annoying. And I might be able to fix it. Something just might be out of line, and I can just maybe bang it back into place with a hammer, or just kind of wedge it. I don't know, something might just be off in its alignment or something in there. I will have to see, you know. But the gun feels good. I mean, the gun holds well. It fits my hand good. It points well. The sights are very nice and tall. It was very easy to acquire targets and shoot. I like the gun. It is essentially, the way you could look at it is a budget, a cheaper budget SIG. You know, a SIG 220 or 226 or 229 or whatever. It's like a cheap budget version of that gun. And excuse my dog coughing in the background. That's kind of the way you got to look at it. And this gun's made pretty well. I mean, these guns, I think in terms of machining quality and everything, really aren't any worse than SIGs. They're still well made. But that's how you got to kind of look at it. It's a cheaper, maybe slightly less quality, you know, fit and finish, but it'll work. SIG P226, if you don't want to pay, wholesale top price for a 226. Although you can get like police turn-in or surplus SIG 226s that are in really good shape for less than $400, and you know they'll get the job done. But this is sub 300, around 250, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I regretted buying this, because I could have bought a brand new 999 or EZ9 or 40 for about the same price, and it would be brand new. You know, but I just don't like those quite as much as these, the original 9.9. There's something about these I just like more. I mean, the mag release is really easy, and it's also ambidextrous as well. Lastly, the trigger. The single action trigger is pretty good. Thumbing the hammer back is pretty easy. And there's not a lot of throw in the hammer. Like, the actual hammer travels really short, which is interesting. Again, single action again. There's a little bit of mush, take up, a lot of just mush. Pretty short take up, and then just a lot of mush. Pretty clean break, though. Overall, the trigger's not bad. It's not bad. The double action is pretty good. It's pretty heavy, but pretty short travel and a really good break. Not bad. The reset is almost out to full. So there's full. There's your reset. There's your full. So the reset's almost all the way back out. It's pretty close. And you get that, you do get a click on the reset. Not bad. There's another look at the magazine. It looks like any sort of other, SIG or magazine of the era here. Pretty standard design. You got your magazine holes. I can get on there. So you got 5, 10, 15, showing you how full of ammo you are in your magazine. It came with one magazine. Magazines are available online and stuff. So haven't bought any yet though. But overall, the gun is in pretty good shape. Again, as you can see, it's not bad. Just some minor wear. There is some finish wear on the back here. Some highline wear right there. That's really not any severe finish wear or anything, and just no chipping, just some scuffing. Again, the barrel is in excellent condition. The internal parts are great. The only problem I have with the gun is the goddamn decocker / slide release. And that's a pretty major issue. I have to admit, that is a major issue. That is a double function piece, and neither one are working very well. That's kind of a problem. But what can you do? I mean, the gun still shoots fine and everything. It's just not going to be a gun I'm going to bet my life on because of that. But it's just going to be a nice showpiece, not a showpiece, but a nice range piece, something to shoot and practice with, and just something to have, a nice gun to have, a nice entry level into the SIG, kind of the SIG world, much like the Astra A80, A90, and 100, and I've done a video on the A80 as well. And then that one's another, very cheap sub 300 gun as well. Basically a SIG clone too. So, it's nice that we're starting to see some cheaper SIG alternatives on the market that are popping up and allow you to get into the SIG Sauer world at a much cheaper, really bargain price, really. So the gun's great. I love the gun and everything, but this is an issue. And I hope I can fix it, maybe get in there and realign it somehow or something, or replace that part and put a new one in there somehow. That's maybe a stretch though. I haven't seen any videos on it or anything. So, but I'll have to mess around with it. Maybe I will get it fixed one day. But for a range piece, just a range toy, it's not really a big deal. I don't really need to decock it or anything, and I can just rack the slide manually to chamber around, so it's not a huge deal. But those are my questions and concerns. That's really about it. Thank you for watching the video. Overall, not a bad gun. These aren't available anymore. Again, I bought this gun like 3 or 4 months ago. So J&G does not have them in stock anymore. At least last time I checked a couple of weeks ago. Since they sold out of them back then, they've not gotten them back in. So, but you could still get like the EZ, and I think even the 999s are still available brand new in some places. So you can get one of those too, and they're about the same price. They're like around $250 too. So keep that in mind. Overall, not a bad gun. I like the design. I like the price, but this was just my experience with that problem. This is probably not endemic, and I think I honestly probably just kind of got unlucky. It is kind of a gamble whenever you buy surplus guns online. You are gambling to an extent, and I got a bad hand here a little bit, but it's not totally a disaster. So take that for what you will. That is about all. So thank you for watching. I am Guns and Games, and I will see you in the next one.